Hello everyone. So today we are going to begin our online lecture of Standard 10. Yes, my dear children, you all can see the cover page of history. Thereafterward, you all can see the content, that is the topic of Standard 10. Then we are going to come to the topic, that is chapter 1, Historiography, Development in the West. Now, my dear children, we are going to begin the topic. Now, historiography, development in the West. That is, we are going to study about development in the European country. Right, my dear children? Okay. Now, let me tell you about introduction of the topic. Now, historiography means the writing of critical historical narrative is known as historiography, isn't it? Okay. Historical research, writing and studies are carried out with an objective of understanding the chronology of the past events and their interconnections. Yes, my dear children. Chronology means historical records, and this is a continuous process, okay, which is very, very important. My dear children, here the empirical method of observation and experiments in laboratory is used to study natural and physical science. This method cannot be used to study history, as we were not present in historical time to observe and experiment. Neither can we recreate the historical event. Yes, my dear children, because we were not present at that time. So whatever we get it from the information. Isn't it? Okay. Now, yes, my dear children. Now, next is objectives of writing history. Okay? Now, one by one, we are going to study about them. What are the objectives? To put the past events in chronological order and analyze. That means to study, examine carefully. That means we have to examine it, whether it is correct or not. Okay? Then only we'll come to know that it is in the chronological order. Next, second point is to verify the authenticity of the collected documents. That is, my dear children, whether the documents are genuine. Authenticity means genuine. Whatever the collected documents are there, whether it is true or not. This is very important. Otherwise, we cannot come to know. Any fake documents, we cannot study. So whatever it is genuine, that only we study in history. Okay? Now third point is to ascertain the truth. That means to find something. Every time to get it something. What new things we are going to get it. That is called as ascertain. To find something which is true. Okay, these are the objectives of writing history. The historian has to consider all these things. These points are very important for him. Okay? Yes, my dear children, now we are going to study about the need of an expert. We'll come to know about the historian. What an expert can do it and can understand. We can prove the authenticity of historical sources with the help of experts. Okay? An expert who knows the language and script of a historical document to read and understand its meaning. Okay? One who can identify, examine the authenticity, the period in which the writing and lettering style was prevalent. One who can identify the type of paper used, manufacturing date, and the age in which it was used. And also, one who has the knowledge of stamps. An historian then only can scrutinize various historical references. Okay? Now, my dear children, you all can see the concept chart of historical research method. Okay? Did you get it? Okay. Now, one by one, we are going to study about the historical research method. Now, first, we are going to study about writing of historical narrative. Okay? What is there in this? What an expert or historian can do it, or what he get the help. Now first, critically examining of various sources of history. Miss, yes my dear children, critically it has to be examined. Whatever the sources of history are there. Did you get it? Okay. Now, next is about examining relevant references of the available historical information. Whatever related references are there which are available, it has to be examined. Whatever information we get it has to be examined. Now next, collecting historical information, highlighting the process, whatever the process are there that lead to historical transitions. Transitions means what? Changes. And carrying out comparative analysis. That is, make it in such a way that it happens in that time. Okay? Now next, understanding the references regarding time and space of the given historical events, and also various conceptual frameworks used in historical research method. There are various references are there which has to be understand, which needs understanding, like time and space of the given historical events, whatever the events has happened, and various conceptual frameworks used in historical research method. Okay. Now next is about formulating relevant questions in view of the historical references. Relevant means related. The related questions are being formed in view of the historical references. Whether this has happened or not, or whether this was there or not, which is very important. Did you get it? Now, last is about formulating hypothesis. That means whether it is happened or not, whether it is correct or not, true or false, that it has to be considered. Now, did you get it about the historical research method? Okay. Now, my dear children, we are going to study about the disciplines contributing in the historical research. That is, methods of various disciplines which are useful in historical research. Now, one by one, we are going to study about them. These are the examples, my dear children. Okay. Now, try to understand. Okay. Now, we are going to study about them. Now, first is about archaeology. Archaeology means what? Digging of land. That is excavation work. Okay. It has to be dig the land, and the people are there, experts are there, archaeologists are there. With the help of them, we come to know about the historical things. Next is about archival science. Archival science means written paper. My dear children, written paper is also very important, and because it shows the proof and it shows the type of paper from which time it belongs to. Next is about manuscriptology. Manuscriptology means handwritten. Handwritten is also needed, my dear children. Okay. Now, next is about epigraphy. Epigraphy means study of inscription. That is inscribed in stone. Did you get it? My dear children, we know about the Stone Age people. Okay. How we come to know about them? Because of the stone, because of the caves and all which are kept over there. From them only we come to know about the ancient people, early people. Okay. Now, next is linguistics. Linguistics means languages. Language is also very important because all the languages are different, but the people are different, but from the language, the expert only come to know, and it comes to us and we study about them. Next is lettering style, analyzing branch. That means detailed examining of element. It has to be detailed, examined, analyzed. There are branches of lettering styles are there, which has to be examined, analyzed. Okay. Now next is numismatic, study of coins. My dear children, coins. From coins we come to know that from which period the coins belong to. Like take example of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. The coins which were there during the period of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, we come to know about that period. Okay. There are many coins are there. which we come to know about the ancient people, or we can also come to know about the medieval people. Okay. Now next is about genealogy. Genealogy means what? Study of lineage. That is study of families. Families are also very much important, because we come to know about their generation, the ruler, which ruler belonged to which period. We come to know from this only. Okay. Now, my dear children, we move on to the next topic, that is traditions of historiography. Now, we have learnt about the historical research method. Okay. Critically examining the historical sources and writing the historical narrative. Now, the writing of critical historical narrative is known as historiography. The writing of critical historical narrative is known as historiography, and a scholar who writes such a narrative is a historian. Okay? The historian cannot include every past event in his narrative. Yes, my dear children, it is not possible that every event he can include. Now, my dear children, we can see the image of the earliest inscription in the Louvre Museum, which is in France. Okay. Now this picture shows a fragment of the earliest inscription, that is a forward marching file of soldiers holding shields and spears in their hand is seen here, and the general is in the front. We can see the general in the front. The tradition of recording historical event can be traced back to the Sumer civilization in Mesopotamia, that is in Iraq. Names of Sumerian kings and the stories of battles fought by them have been preserved in various inscriptions. Okay, whatever the stories of battles which was being fought by them have been preserved in various inscription. That means it has been inscribed in writing. The earliest inscription shown date back to 4500 BCE. That means before Common Era. It records a battle fought between two kingdoms. It is now displayed at the Louvre Museum in France. Okay. Now, my dear children, the same topic we are studying, that is tradition of historiography. Now, in this, we are going to study the tradition of writing historical narrative, that is historiography, was not prevalent in the ancient societies of the world. Okay. It does not mean, that means writing things were not there, but they were aware of the pictures. That means they were not aware of the historical time or were not eager to know about it. Yes, my dear children, ancient people also felt the need of passing on the stories of the life and valor, that is courage, of the ancestors to the next generation. That means in what way they used to present. See, my dear children, You all can see the cave paintings. Okay, from that we come to know that they also know the paintings. They knew the dancing, singing, storytelling, ballads, everything. Okay, that means the ancient communities all over the world used various means like cave paintings, storytelling, singing songs, and ballads, etc. for this purpose. And did you know, my dear children, that these all traditional means are looked upon as the sources of history in the modern period? Okay, did you get it? Okay. Yes, my dear children, from the cave painting, what do we understand? Yes, paintings made by the ancient man on the walls of caves have been found, and some of them depict scenes of hunting because hunting was their main occupation, and their food was hunting meat of animals. We also find depictions of community dancing and of various animals. We can also see in the image that the people how they are dancing and singing, and of paintings of animals are drawn by them. Yes, my dear children. Now we move on to the next topic, that is modern historiography. There are four main characteristics of modern historiography. Now one by one we are going to study about them. Okay. Now first one, its method is based on scientific principles. It begins with the formation of relevant questions. Okay, that means always it is based on scientific principles and the related questions are formed accordingly. Now second is, these questions are anthropocentric. Yes, anthropocentric means about human beings. It means that these questions are about the deeds of the members of ancient human societies of a particular period. Okay, and history does not suggest any interrelation between the divine and human deeds. Okay, that means the ancient human societies of a particular period are about the deeds of members. Now next is, third one is, answers to these questions are supported by reliable evidence. Reliable evidence means what? Proof. It should be reliable. Then only the answers to the questions are supported. Okay. And fourth one is, last one is about history presents a graph of mankind's journey with the help of past human deeds. That means it is a graph which presents, or we can say history shows a graph of mankind's journey. That means of his life, full life, with the help of the past human deeds. Okay, whatever deeds means what? Whatever good or bad deeds have been done by him. Okay. Now next we are going to study about that. It is said that modern historiography with these characteristics has its roots in the ancient Greek historical writings. That means history is originally a Greek term. What is history originally? It has come from the Greek term. Yes, Herodotus, the Greek historian of the 5th century BCE. He also was belonged to Greek. He is a Greek historian. BCE means what? Before Common Era. He belonged to the 5th century BCE. Used it first for the book entitled The Histories. That means the histories. Yes, my dear children. Who was Herodotus? He was a father of history. Why? Because he only has given the knowledge of history. And because of him only we are studying history. The subject history has come from him only. Okay? Now, yes, my dear children. Now we are going to conclude the topic. And we are going to continue with the next topic, that is about the notable scholars. And we are going to continue with the same topic, that is historiography development in the West. I hope, my dear children, you must have understood. Okay? Thank you very much.